Hello everybody, it's Belinda here from Visualized NZ. Welcome back to my channel. I am going to make a scrappy tag. This is a Scrappy Action that Lydia did on Monday. If you haven't seen her video, then hop along and check out that, where she made this super cute scrappy tag in the shape of a house. And I just love it. I love the idea, and what she did was just magical. And now it's my turn to try and emulate the idea that she had. So I'm not going to do a house. I love the idea of the house, and I'd really love to do a house, but I feel like I need to do something different because this is for us, but it's for you guys as well, to give you ideas. So she's given you the idea of a house tag, which do pop along and watch it if you haven't, because it's super fun. But I've come up with something else, and I'm hoping it works. I don't know, I've never done it before, so I'm hoping it works. I'm using a box, it's this box here, which I've already opened out and trimmed down the flaps. So these are the flappy bits that I've cut off, just to save a bit of time. And this is the same box, different flavour, but same box as what she used to create her Scrappy House tag. So I thought it would be super fun to use the same box type. So I'm just going to go ahead and trim, because I just need this front panel here. So I'm just now going to trim off that. So this is Scrappy Action number 2 for Scrappy September that Lydia and I are both collaborating on. So as part of that collaboration, we sent each other a box full of trash, of rubbish. And this box is out of the box that Lydia sent me, and the box that she used was out of the box of trash that I sent her. So that's a bit of the background. Now I am going to need bits of this card as well for what I'm going to do. So I've cut out this panel, and now I'm going to try and draw my shape. And I don't know how this is going to go. So I need a body. And I have no idea what sort of shape body I want. So let's give it a bit of a shoulder there. And a bit of a shoulder here. And I'm not worried about keeping it sort of symmetrical or even or anything. In honour of Lydia, who likes wonky shapes, and I do too. They're fun. So I'm going to try and emulate wonkiness as well. So let's make that the shoulders. And I don't want a tiny wee head, because that's going to be a problem if I do a tiny wee head. So I'm going to do a square head that basically just meets up with the shoulders. Now that may sound a bit odd, but bear with me, all will become clear, hopefully, if I can pull this off. Hopefully it will become clear in due course. So I'm doing a square head, and then I want to bring down the bottom of the body, and actually probably this is the lovely inside of the box, so I don't think I'll be covering this. I'll leave it for writing space. Actually, I might make it square. Shall I use the whole thing? No, that's going to be too tall. I need to trim it down. Okay. Right, I need to start shaping it so I know where I'm going with it. And I don't know if you can guess what I'm making yet. It's a tag, but the shape of the tag. And I've never done a shaped tag before. This is something new. So I'm being very mysterious, aren't I? I want to know at which point you work out what I'm doing. Just a bit of cloak and dagger, smoke and mirrors reveal. That's what it is. Right, so there we've got our square head, or rectangle head really. Yeah, that's rough enough. It's not quite centered, but I don't think that'll matter. Right, and I need it to be slightly shorter. Do I want legs? I do want legs, but I'm trying to decide whether I want them joined on or not. And no, I'm going to separate it. And that is bugging me a little bit, so I'm just going to trim this down to make the head a little bit more centered. I don't know, I can't help myself. I'm trying to go wonky, but you know. So there's a head and body. Now I've got scraps here from Lydia that she sent me as part of the box of trash. That's to my right here, and then in front of my mat I've got all my own scraps. So let's first go to the scraps that Lydia sent me and see what I can use out of this. I love this bit of embossed paper. And I'm going to use tacky glue since it's textured with the embossing. I don't want to flatten the embossing by using a glue stick, so I'm going to use my tacky glue to glue this bit on. Oh, now do I want the debossed or the embossed side? I like both. Let's just stick with the embossed side. I can make a meal out of anything, just in choosing which side of the paper to use. Goodness. So hopefully everybody is having a great day. It's a beautiful day here. It's a beautiful spring day. We had a big frost. Well, I'll call it a big frost, but a frost this morning. It's spring here. And so we started off very, very cold, and it's still cold inside, so I've got the fire going. But outside it's just stunning. Blue skies, warm, sunny, just gorgeous. So I went out for a while, stood on the back deck and just put my face to the sun and enjoyed it. And our kitten Georgie came and rolled around at my feet, and I gave him some cuddles and he talked to me. And it was just so good. I just wish, well, I know it will come, but I wish the warmth was inside. So it's still a bit froggy, not too bad. This is my second video today because I want to try and film ahead. So this will go up tomorrow, this video, and then I hope tomorrow to film the video for Monday because I'm going to be out all day Monday. So I'm trying to just give myself a bit of time getting ahead with everything. Right. I think I'll just lay the pieces down and then trim up as I need to. Oops. Move the card. So, has anyone guessed yet what I'm making? It's probably a bit difficult at the moment, but I'm sure you'll pick it up if I don't accidentally let slip what I'm making, apart from the fact that it's a shaped tag. I don't know why I'm being so mysterious. Just a bit of fun, I think. Just a bit of the mood I'm in. What else have we got here? A bit of painty paper, that could be fun. So I'm just doing the body at the moment. And this is a bit thicker, this paper, so I'm going to use tacky glue for this as well. And I'll probably give up and tell you what I'm making soon, just because I can't help myself. And at some point it will become sort of obvious of the line I'm going down. Just turn that round. So I want to create a bit of a barrier between this head. So you know it's some sort of figure from what I've already said. So I want to create a line, a differentiation between the body and the head. What else have we got? Might need to dig in my scraps here. I'm sort of going pink with this, so why not? I've got this little scrap of butterfly paper. It'll be fun. And I'll use tacky glue too because it's going onto a bumpy surface with the embossed paper. Like so. Right. And I need to trim that down. Oops, I threw my wet wipe, which is now dry, in the bin. So I'll just pull that back so I can wipe off the glue around the edges before I cut it, just to save my scissors a bit of cleanup. And I just need to trim it down so I can see how I'm going and whether I like it so far. So has anyone else made a Scrappy tag yet? Love to see what you do. As I said, Lydia's is so cool. Yeah, I really recommend you go along and see it, rather than me just keep talking about it, because it's so cute. And I hope mine is like just even a quarter of the cuteness of her house tag. I'd be super happy if it was just a quarter of the cuteness. Right, wondering if this is too much expanse of the pink here. Maybe I need to add in maybe a little bit there. Oops, need to cut it really, just to break up the amount of this bright pink, which is super pretty, but it is bright. So let's just add another little bit down here, and also just to break up this line a bit. Okay, so what I am making, I think the blocky sort of shapes are going to work well, or at least I hope they do. Right, now onto the head, and I have to work out what colour I might use. I think this is actually out of my scraps. I don't know how it ended up. I don't want white. That's a bit boring, isn't it? Just plain white. Should we go for some green? Green head. I think I'd rather put a whole scrap. So I'm just having a flick through my pile. And there's a reason I want to do just a whole scrap. Trim off that little kink on the edge there. And give it a rough trim down so I'm not wasting a whole lot of glue. Oh, you know what I've done? I've gone ahead and collaged the writing side, so I'm going to have to put writing paper on the other side. Oops, that wasn't what I meant to do. Oh well, never mind, carry on. No point worrying about it now. So yes, I did intend on collaging the other side of the card with the decorative paper. My head is not screwed on. It's not attached, unlike this fellow's. Right, time to get my scissors all gummy. I'm just going to stick it to my glue book. If you can hear a noise in the background, it's just the dishwasher in the kitchen. There's no door between the kitchen and the lounge, so if you can hear that, I apologise, but I've got to get my dishes cleaned for the next round of eating. Right, there we go. So I wanted that. Oops, and I've got glue on it. Hopefully I can cover that up. Wanted that because now I want to do some features, because a head has features, doesn't it? So I want to do some eyes. And I'm thinking I'll use my hole punch. I could hand cut them, but I've got a hole punch right here, so why not make life easy? Do myself a couple of eyes. Yep, and I might just give them a little definition, just because they're yellow but quite similar toning to the green paper I've used on the head. So just to make sure that you can actually see them. Hopefully you're enjoying this project so far, despite my mysteriousness. And this fellow is going to go in my personal journal, which I think will be super fun. Right, that, and we need a mouth. Should we make it in pink? Let's have a go. It's not very even. It's definitely going to be a wonky mouth. Oh, and way too big. way too big. Okay, let's just trim that down a bit. Still too big. Oh my gosh. It's going to be all mouth on the head. Let's see how that stacks up now. Does it funny that it goes to the outside of the eyes? Ah, doesn't matter. Let's go with it. Don't be fussy, girl. The idea is not to get it perfect or lifelike. Let's just go with it. Right, and I want a wee nose, so let's go with the scrap of blue that's sitting right in front of me. And this time I'm going to cut a wee circle for a wee nose. It's going to be a very wonky little circle. If I can actually cut it out. I think my scissors are way too big for doing this task. But you know, you've got to challenge yourself. Challenge yourself to cut a tiny wee shape with huge scissors. It's not like I've got smaller scissors handy, is it? It's sort of clownish. Let's go with it. I'm not making a clown, but let's just go with it. Hopefully it will come together, and if it doesn't, well, it's just a fun memory in my journal. So, like, what does it matter? Okay, and I need eyeballs. I really need eyeballs. Shall I attempt? I'll use my small scissors this time to cut some eyeballs. They're going to be about the same size as the nose. If this doesn't work, I'll just go in with a black pen. Oh, fiddly stuff. Oh, I think exactly the same size as the nose, but that's okay. In the name of using up scraps, I'm using the smallest of scraps and creating even smaller scraps. Right. 2 wonky eyeballs that are the same colour as the nose and the same size as the nose. Let's Now which way is he going to be looking? Let's have him looking that way. I'll try and not make him cross-eyed. It's going to be a really funky little thing. And I think I will go in with black to give him some irises, or what's it called? Cornea? Something. I don't know. The darker part of the eye. I've lost my words again. And on my way to losing my voice, apparently. Right, cup of tea does wonders. Okay, so that's the basis. So far, so good, basically. Right, I need to back this before I do anything else, because it's going to be more difficult if I leave it. So, just looking for my plain scraps of writing paper. So this is slightly shiny paper, but it's see-through. So maybe we'll look for a different piece. What else have I got in here that might work? Just talk amongst yourselves for a moment while I fossick. Just hunting through. What about this bit? Oops, dropping scraps all over the place here. So I was contemplating going for a walk this afternoon, and then it's just like I really wanted to get this video done ahead of time. So guess what won out? Maybe once this is done, I'll have opportunity to go for a walk then, because it's such a beautiful day. It'd be a shame not to go out for a walk, and I haven't been walking for, it feels like forever, because of having COVID and everything. So it would be very good to meet if I did go for a walk. Right, I'm going to just use the tacky glue just to make my life, oops, a bit quicker at this point. Well, hopefully that's the theory. And just going right around the edges. And then squiggle it in the middle. The paper I'm using to back it with is a bond paper, so it's quite thick paper. It's a test print where everything turned out way too little, so that's what it's from. And give that a smooth out, get the glue right to the edges. Yeah, get it everywhere, that's it. Everywhere I don't want it. But at least I know it's going to the edges, so there is that. Right. And again, back in with scissors to trim it down. So I wish you could give me feedback in live time. It's like, what do you think I am creating here, apart from a tag? What sort of tag? I can just about guarantee that you've all guessed. It's a bit hard to get into those neck or shoulder bits. Hopefully I don't regret not giving him a neck. but I thought this particular shape would be something that you could play around with and not have to worry about getting it too precise, because the idea is not to get it lifelike. It's supposed to be whimsical. And I think so far, I mean, just looking at that face, that's a pretty whimsical face, I'd have to say. It's a bit childish, but, you know, childish is fun. Right. That's what I'm going to tell myself anyway. Okay, so I'm pulling back one of the side parts of the box. I'm just going to trim off where it's been scored and folded. So I've got a flat area to work with. And now I want some legs. So how big do I want my legs? I don't want them too long. Let's just trim right up that side where the box was glued together. Get rid of that. I'm going to make the legs about that long, and two legs. They still might be a bit long. How tall is a page? Because it will need to fit on a page. Yep, too long, so let's cut those down a bit. Let's try that. Yep, I can live with that. It's about good. Right, this time I will collage the proper side, the side I meant to. So what colour do we want legs? Let's go back to Lydia's scraps, and this bit of embossed paper has caught my eye. So let's do his legs in this cool paper. So I might be able to get two going that way. Right, I am just going to glue it straight onto the paper and then cut around it. I think I'll get less wastage then. I do need to get my Cuttlebug out and do some embossing. I haven't done it for ages, and it would be cool to have a supply of paper like this, cool paper to work with. Right, there's one leg and the other leg. So I won't need to back these legs because I've done it the right way around this time. Right, just leaving a gap in there to cut to. Oops, it looks like one's longer than the other. I don't think they are. I just think it's the way I've glued them onto the paper. One's higher than the other. But it doesn't matter, even like different sized legs would work perfectly well for this fellow. Right. Now, do I want to put them on the back or the front? I think the front. Now I'm going to use my hole punch, and I might have to do a bit of problem solving on this. We shall see how it works. I'm not sure how well this is going to work. Punch the hole for my legs. Oh, that's really hard to go through. There we go. And grab out some brads. So I'm not sure whether I'll need to put like a washer or something over. Try this first. thread, the other leg. Got quite long arms on these breads. So do you know what I'm making yet? I think if you haven't guessed, because I'm being so super mysterious, I'm making a robot tag. And this was hubby's idea. I think I said at the beginning. He suggested a robot with movable arms and legs, and I thought that was quite a cute idea. So he's got movable legs. Thinking like I need washers on the back just to hide things, but I'm just going to move on, and I can come back and put little washers on at any point. Right, so now we need some arms. So I think I'll do the arms a bit narrower. And I think they need to be a bit shorter as well. Now I could double joint the arms, so like have an elbow with another brad, but I really don't want to use up all my brads just on one project, so I'm just going to go with one to hinge it to the body. Yep, I think that will be fine. Right, so cover these. What are we going to cover these with? I've got this other scrap of green, which I think might be quite nice. So again, I'm just going to lay it down. This side's cool too, this wood grain look pattern. But I think I'll go with the green side. So he's sort of mostly pink and green. Okay. So for this I seem to be using mostly Lydia's scraps, which is super cool. Nice to use different scraps to what I've had in my own stash. I find that you kind of get more excited by somebody else's scraps because they're new and things that you haven't played with before, and so it makes them more fun. Okay, this is a very odd fellow, I have to say. So I'll just empty my whole punch of all the punchings. So I'm sure you could do a much better job than what I'm doing of it. It's very, very thick to punch through. But the idea is just to be creative and have fun, and you know, no pressure that it has to be anything amazing. Just got to have fun with it. And I think allowing yourself to just play and not worry about, you know, is it perfect, is it right, is it realistic, you know, any of those things. There's a lot of freedom in it, just to play, just to have some fun, because creating should be fun. And of course not everything turns out, that's life. But you know, this one might not be the most stellar robot in the world, but it's cute. I have to say it's cute. I think it's cute. Wonky, definitely. Childish, yep, definitely. But it's going to be a really nice memory in my journal of a day where I just played. Excuse me, I just need a sip of tea. Just make sure I'm recording. Yes, I am. Brilliant. Okay, so now I'm thinking some sort of hair. What have I got? Got some embroidery cottons here. Maybe I could just glue on some of this. And got pink and green. Maybe a bit of this mustardy, goldy yellow. Yep, I like that. Right. Try and get it out without it not going all knotty. Right, let's see. That's probably, hopefully, enough. And do I just want to give him like a top knot of hair? That means I'll have to punch a hole right between his eyeballs. Why not? Like, he's certainly a character already. Let's make him even more of a character. Whoops, the book just fell down. Hopefully that didn't knock the tripod too much. So if you had a wee shake, that was just a book falling against the tripod. Sorry about that. Right, so I'm just folding it up into all those lengths, and hopefully I haven't made it too short that I can still get it through and loop it. Otherwise I'll be using this for something else. Let's see. Pushing it. Can we do it? Can we make it? Can we get all the ends through? Oops, I've lost some ends. There we go. Bit uneven, but I think that sort of just fits somehow. So he's got this little top knot of hair. I think it's actually quite cute. I'm quite happy to put that in my journal as something that's just fun and very, very whimsical. I did want to go in, didn't I, and just give him some eyeballs, the middle of his eyes. And do I want to do any other? Let's give him some teeth. Wonky, fun teeth. Doesn't need many teeth. He doesn't need to eat. And I'm just going from the sublime to the ridiculous now. Right, so he's got some teeth. I actually think the teeth improve it. I don't know what you think. But there's my little robot tag. So he's going to sit in my journal, and I will write on the back of him about how cute and ridiculous he is. So this is my answer to Lydia's Scrappy house tag, and I have to say I do love her house more than I love my robot. But you know what? This makes me laugh, and what can be better than a laugh? And when I look back in my journal, it's probably going to still make me laugh. So that's not a bad thing. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you attempt to create something, whether it be a house or a robot or anything else your heart desires, using up your scraps and a bit of cardstock, and just play, just have fun, join in, and please tag us. All the details will be in the description box, so that we can enjoy your creations as well. Thanks for joining me today, and I will see you again soon. Bye for now.